Hi, I'm Phil Malto and welcome to Snowmobiler Television, brought to you by OSM Magazine. On today's show, we'll be in the backcountry trying some sleds with snowboard attachments. And speaking of the backcountry, you're used to seeing snow bikes out in the mountains. Well, today we've got them here at Central Marine in Ontario, out on the demo track. Let's ride.
STV is sponsored by Yamaha, revs your heart. Kimpex, fueled by fun. And by CKX, wear your passion.
The snow bike boom is on. It started off in the mountains and now it's everywhere in the snow belt. And Derek is here to talk about snow bikes. And Derek, first of all, let's start off with the technical part of a snow bike in this kit. What is this? How do you get it?
This is a Yeti 120 kit. So these kits, you take your motocross bike and you add the track and the ski to the kit. This particular kit is all carbon fiber chassis. Every bolt and thing's titanium, front arm's titanium. It comes in weighing at 90 pounds, so it's very lightweight. The stock wheel, swing arm, and shock on a regular bike's roughly around 50 pounds. So you're only adding about 40 pounds or so, approximately to your bike. So it's pretty amazing for what you're getting, a whole track kit for that kind of, only adding that much weight to it.
The actual mechanic part of the bike, engine, does anything like that change, or is it just front and back?
No, yeah, the engine stays the same as the motocross bike. That's the front wheel comes off, and your spindle and ski go on the front, and the rear wheel, including the swing arm and the rear shock, comes off, and your track kit fits on with the strut rod.
It was interesting today. We had snowmobile guys out before, but we've also had motorcycle people on the snow. What's it like for you seeing this bringing snow, dirt people onto the snow?
I think it's a big change. A lot of motorcycle people never thought they could take their bike and use it all year. They ride the 3 seasons and they put it away and they kind of hibernate for the winter. And some of them may or may not ride a snowmobile, but for them to have the opportunity to take their bike that they love and ride all year and put a track kit on it and go do similar type riding, go into the bush, do the backcountry riding, come to a track like we're at today. It's a pretty big opportunity for those bike guys to ride all year.
Now, when I first saw one of these kits about 4 years ago, it was out in Revelstoke, BC, and they were figuring out what to do with this thing because nobody had one yet. It was the first one that anybody had seen. And to see where the sport has gone today, it's gone from the mountains to the flatlands. What is it like for you now trying to show people in the flatlands, if we will, of the snow belt, what these can do?
Well, that's what we're here doing today. So we're at Sled Goodell's Mobile Marine at the racetrack, which he's named the Compound. And we're getting guys out that have interest in using the snow bikes and getting them on a track. So we have the opportunity to ride on track, and then we've also been testing in the backcountry. So there's so much opportunity to ride in Ontario, a few different spots, and more will be growing. I'll be working on making new spots, and it's really picking up and the trend's growing.
What do people need to know about the sport? Where can you ride? Because that's always been a mystery since they came out. People saw them in the trees and they say, okay, I don't live in a tree with an area with 45-degree slope. What do I do here in Ontario, Quebec, maritime areas? What can they expect from a snow bike?
Well, anybody that has any property themselves, like if you got any farmland or bush or any type of land, you can just cut a trail anywhere you want to go. You got 3 feet of powder, 4 feet of powder, and you're just going point and shoot. So that's one place to ride. CSRA has a class to race the snow bikes in this year, along with the snowcross sleds.
And we did see them in action. We were at Duluth earlier this year. We saw them at Duluth. Now they're going to be in the X Games. So it seems like the acceptance has really taken off, both backcountry, now back into flatland, and in competition. So it must be pretty exciting for you as a distributor, dealer, assembler, promoting it, to see it taking off in so many areas.
Oh, it's very exciting. I can't wait. It's just starting this year. We definitely have some things to figure out, but that's the fun in it, especially when it comes to racing.
And it was interesting also today, the learning curve, because when I ask people what's the learning curve like, it's surprisingly short. It doesn't take a long time. They say once they get going, have you found that with a lot of people? They're surprised at how fast the learning curve really is?
Yeah, I think it's more like a motorcycle than people thought it would be. You see a ski in a track and you're like, it's a lot longer, and you're used to having wheels that roll, and you get on and you let the clutch out and you're like, this thing's moving a lot like a bike. There's obviously some differences because there's a track and ski, but it does feel like riding your bike on snow.
What was your first reaction when you first got on one of these? I've been talking to other people, but for you, what was it like when you got on? And did the fun factor just kick in right away, or what was it like for you?
My first reaction when I got on it is it was just awesome. I couldn't believe how great this is. I'm a bike guy, and I've actually had this particular unit all summer, taken to motocross races, promoting that we're a Yeti dealer, and then you can race them in the CSRA. And finally got some snow down a couple weeks ago, and as soon as it snowed, we got out on them, and I had the biggest grin in the world on how well these things worked and what you could do with them and the places you could take them. And it shocked me a little bit. I knew they worked good from watching a lot of the video and just doing my research, but to have it in under yourself and go on a ride, and it was awesome.
Now, I'm gonna throw a name at you from the old days because I'm probably a little bit older than you. I used to ride Hodaka 125s,
Yeah.
and I can see that the bikes have come a long way. Now, for a lot of us who grew up snowmobiling, we're in the area of 600, 800 two-strokes, big four-strokes and stuff. What's the engine like on this for people who are not dirt bike people? What's the engine like on this? The size and power, like what are they looking at?
This one here is a 450cc four-stroke. They work really well in the 450s. They do make these kits for 250 four-strokes and for the 250 and 300 two-strokes. For racing, I think we'll probably be using the 450 four-strokes. That's what we have them on all right now for our first set of bikes we're testing with.
We're having a great snowfall now, so it looks like a great year to get into snow bikes. And how do they do that? Where do they go?
To get into snow bikes, you can contact myself at Fly By You Motorsports. And also, if you're looking to race them in the CSRA, you can go on the CSRA's website.
The snow bikes are definitely here.
Yes, they are.
It's Snow Bike Demo Day where people get to come out here and actually try a snow bike, and we got a track system set up here. And joining me is John Sleeman. And John, snow bikes, what were your thoughts out on the track?
Awesome, very different. You think you can ride a dirt bike and you're fairly proficient at it, well, get on one of these, it's a different experience.
So you're a dirt bike guy. Are you a snowmobiler too, or a dirt bike guy?
I used to be a dirt bike guy, I'm no longer, but I couldn't pass up the opportunity to try one of these machines.
What were your thoughts? What were your initial thoughts when you got on it, and then when you started to engage the track and started going around?
It took me back to my dirt bike days. They stand up by themselves very well, and they're a blast to drive. The ski took a little bit getting used to. It's hard to get used to the lean, but they do track well once you get them set properly. And every bike is different. You've got to adjust your riding style to the different machine. So obviously I've got a favorite out of the three.
What were your observations between the three of them?
Well, one's a race bike, so it's very fast. The other one has the recluse clutch, which is no shifting. And the Honda over there had the long track, a little smoother, totally different in the steering department.
We've talked to John. Let's go check in with some other riders to see what they thought of the snow bikes today. Also out on the test track today was Pat O'Neill. And Pat, your thoughts?
They're fun.
In what way?
They're definitely different. They're a different experience. I mean, I don't come from riding snowmobiles or anything like that. I've always ridden dirt bikes, but it's kind of an interesting experience without having a front wheel, no front brakes. But I think the engine braking and the amount of traction on the track definitely kind of makes up for it.
Take us through your learning curve when you first got on, first engaging, driving away, your first jumps, corners. What was your learning curve like?
Yeah, the ski digs in a lot. So like coming from bikes, you lean into corners really front heavy, and the wheel grabs. But on these, you kind of need to keep your weight back. And I originally found that running with an automatic clutch like this one has, it definitely made that a lot easier because you got a lot of muscle memory. And then kind of taking the technical side away from it and just letting your mind focus on getting your body position right really helped. And then once I figured that out and swapped to a manual clutch, it made things a lot better.
What did you prefer, clutch-wise?
Definitely a manual clutch once I got the hang of it, because you can just go into corners and rail around them. So you go in and rev it up and dump the clutch. It kind of helps spin it around and accelerate through things so you can get the jumps.
You've tested them out on the track today. What are your thoughts of taking this out on a trail somewhere or boondock riding, free riding through trees? What are your thoughts? How would you feel about trying something like that?
Definitely, I'd rather be riding, I think, out in the powder, out in the backcountry, doing that. I think maybe riding on snowmobile trails, you figure you find similar things with riding on the track or the ski, be digging a lot more. Like we talked to some other guys who've ridden them in the powder, and they say they're a lot better in there. So I think that's probably the ideal spot for them.
What were your thoughts today going around the test track out there, the jumps, the landings, with being out with other test riders? What were your thoughts as you're going around the track?
It was a lot of fun. It was different, especially because, again, I've never ridden snowmobiles before, so it was a track designed for snowmobiles. So it's set up differently than a motocross track. I think if you had one that was maybe built for these, it'd be a lot better experience. But I think the ramps need to be a bit longer, maybe going into the big jumps, and then maybe cut down the whoops a little bit more. But it's fun. It's definitely a good experience. Like the extra length of the bike. I mean, you learn a lot of wheel placement on a motorcycle. So getting used to the extra length on the bike, I think, is going to be the biggest thing. Kind of attacking things a little bit more aggressively, so that when you leave the jumps, you're not kind of kicking down or anything like that, because your bike's staying on the ramp a lot longer, right? So you just need to keep power on a little bit longer.
Either way, it's still going to be fun?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this BTX new model, it's built for deep snow, sea level to 6,000 calibration, but the flotation in the deep snow is great. I've never been a fan of 4-strokes in deep snow due to the heavier weight, but today I'm having a blast with this BTX. I don't know if they changed the gearing with its 153 track, but it's very responsive, and it's easy to side hill with, getting through the trees. Comes with great suspension. Has Fox Evol shocks front and rear. Absorb the bumps. You can, jump through the tree wells and have a great time that way. It also has a heated seat. It's cold mornings. You go out, you've got a heated seat. It's got a real low windshield. The heated seat comes in handy. It also has a trunk. Carry some spare water, whatever snacks you want to take, because you can ride all day. You can get way out into the backcountry and be having a great time, because it's a reliable 1050 4-stroke. Yeah, past Viper models were basically trail sleds other than mountain sleds. Now they got the BTX model in between. It's got the narrower 40-inch ski stance, so it's easier to get through the trees. 153 track, 1 3/4-inch lug. Gives you lots of traction. Especially today, we were running some deep, heavy snow, but you'd have no problem getting traction. We're going up some fairly steep inclines, tucking through the trees, and we're having a great time with it. It's the best Viper I've ridden in deep snow ever. Riding a High Country 9000 today. It's a carryover 9000 model, but it's got a brand new motor. It's a 3-cylinder Yamaha 998 turbo with lots of horsepower. Lots of horsepower. It's great for the guy that's just not a full mountain rider, deep snow rider, backcountry rider. Lots of power. Got a 153-inch track, 1 3/4 paddle. Yeah, it'll get you back into places that a lot of other sleds, long track sleds, won't go, because it's got the power and the maneuverability. A little narrower ski stance. Got the Fox Evol shocks, which are great for absorbing a lot of the big hits, the big bumps. You're taking little jumps here and there off tree wells and snow drifts. Sometimes you don't want to ride down the trail, you want to ride beside the trail, because it's more fun hitting the bumps with this sled rather than staying on the groomed trail. Suspension will, you can set up the shocks to take anything you want to throw at it. It's a great system. It handles well in the trail too. Even though it's a 153-inch track, we ran quite a few miles of trail to get into the backcountry here today, and a lot of it was washed out and pretty choppy. But suspension and steering, it carved the corners. It didn't make you uncomfortable. It was a great ride. Yeah, it's a 4-stroke turbo sled. It's going to have extra weight compared to a 2-stroke sled of the same dimension. It's heavier in the front. Great on the trail, carves the corners real well. Get into the deeper snow, yeah, you notice it, but with the extra power of the turbo, you can overcome that extra weight, and it's still very, very nimble because it's an all-round sled that you could use for all those applications.
Playing in the backcountry just isn't for snowmobilers, and that's why Polaris has put a board mount on the RMK so you can take your friends in the backcountry with their snowboards and their skis. The unique combination of snowboards and snowmobiles has been around for a few years, but now OEMs like Polaris are taking a serious look at it and a serious commitment as well. Polaris has put a lot of resources into their mountain sleds and mountain program over the past decade. A snowmobile with backcountry freedom and attitude is a natural companion to snowboarding, which seeks the same wilderness experience. The learning curve on the Pro RMK 155 is an easy one. The sled is so incredibly rider-friendly with great balance and forgiving nature. So what is it about this chassis that manages to put such big smiles on so many faces? The credit for the riding sweet spot has to go to the Axis RMK chassis. The easy-to-maneuver nature of this sled, along with its raised posture, allows the rider to really enjoy the very predictable and friendly attributes of this design. Pulling the chassis through the snow is a tried and proven 800 clean-fire engine. This motor has shown its power and reliability through its recent success in the Rush and Assault models, opening the door for its use in the RMK. The performance is routed through the quick-drive low-inertia system, a lightweight and very reliable drive approach to driveline technology. The weight and smoothness is another reason for this sled's highly respected accolades. At the very base of this chassis and power delivery is the hookup to the snow. The rear suspension has been revised to benefit both on-trail and off-trail riding. Rotating around that skid is the Polaris exclusive Series 6 track with a 2.6 bite. This winter, the Polaris Pro RMK 155 will allow snowmobilers to really enjoy the full range of the backcountry and make it possible to bring their boarding friends and gear to the deep powder as well. Snowmobilers, skiers, and snowboarders all enjoy the backcountry, and that's why the Ski-Doo Summit Burton Special Edition with its snowboard mount brings the two together. With the 2017 Ski-Doo Summit Burton, snowboarders and sledders get to double their fun in the backcountry. The Summit Burton gets you away from the crowds as it is a true Ski-Doo Summit with all the goods to get you to those remote locations. This is a sled that has proven itself time and time again. The base of the sled is the Rev XM platform that is legendary in the mountains. Our crew has ridden this chassis in many mountain locations and it always is a winner. Novice mountain riders can jump on the sled and generate a quick learning curve. Newbies pick up the skills of mountain riding very quickly with the easy-to-ride chassis. Underneath everything is a track and suspension that really work together in the powder. The T-Motion skid flexes with the chassis, allowing a gentle rolling pitch to take place to aid you in side hilling and carving. Along with that is the 16-inch Flex Edge track, which does just what it says. The edges of this track actually flex, reducing the width feel and acting like a 12-inch track. The result is the ability to pull the sled along the side of a hill or cut a really sharp corner in the deep stuff. The track length is 154, which is still long, but may seem short for riders now looking for lengths in the 160s and 170s. The 154 was the standard for a few years and is still a great all-round track length for mountain riding. The 800 does a great job with two people. I know, I've doubled up many times with a rider and my camera gear in special camera vantage locations. The 800R E-Tech has tons of power and tons of pull, which is why it is such a popular choice in the mountain community. Well, we're outside today. It's snowing, and this is great for everyone who loves to ride. Today we're talking about your handlebars and how you can modify your sled to better suit your style of riding. Jeremy, what is this?
Well, Phil, set of handlebars. But what we got is actually one with a curved end and a bit of a rise. So there's a variety of products out there today that, that offer us different options.
And along with that comes this great attachment. What is this?
What we got is a mountain bar. And basically how a mountain bar works is you attach it up on your handlebars and allows you to side hill. How about a demonstration, Phil?
Oh, that's a great idea, because I know riding out in the mountains and off trail, it's one thing to be going side to side, but it's great when you got something, a nice handle, where you can really pull and really get your weight around on the sled. It's a real bonus to have that as part of your package. And we've also got some risers here. Explain what these are and how they work.
Yeah, so what we've got is basically from the factory, your new sled comes with a riser, but you've got options. If you're a little bit taller guy, a little bit shorter guy, when you're in the mountains, you may want your bars a little bit higher. So what we've got, Rocks offers a product that's fully adjustable, comes with a quick release, allows it to go up and down. You can get solid mount risers. There's also some that allow a bit of an offset. So if you like to stand a little further back on your sled, you can do that as well.
So that really allows you then to fine tune the way your handlebars are. You can put this here, you can go up a bit, down a bit, forward, backward, and really customize to the way you ride on your sled.
You got it.
And there's also an electrical attachment here. What are we talking about here?
Well, with a lot of riders today, they want the capability of having power at their, at their fingertips, and with all kinds of options and telephones and GPS type things, people are putting, outlets with USB ports and 12 volts right up by their handlebars as well.
So it's true, you can always have more power.
That's right.
Whether it's electric or gas, you'll always need more power.
You got it.
So we got handlebars to adjust, ways to adjust your handlebars for your style of riding, and a way to keep your electronic devices plugged in. Jeremy, how do we find out about these products?
Well, you go to www.kimpex.com, or you go check out your local Kimpex dealer.
Get out there, ride, and hang on.
STV is sponsored by Yamaha, revs your heart. Kimpex, fueled by fun. And by CKX, wear your passion.
Thanks for watching today's show, and as you saw, snow bikes are a lot of fun. If you're at a demo day, give one a try. We'll see you next week back here on the snow. Do it! Get to the chopper, get to the snow bike. Look at me going fast to the trail. Woo-hoo-hoo! Whoa! Almost hit the edge of the trail. Whoa! Almost hit the tree. Whoa! I gotta control that car bike.